All right, welcome, Jai Janendra, everyone, to our Chai and Chat speaker series brought to you by the Jaina Eco-Vegan Committee. Excuse me, the Jaina Ahimsa Eco-Vegan Committee. My name is Payal Mehta. If you are just joining us, please type into the chat where you are joining us from so that we can know where you are coming from. Thank you for joining us today. Today, we have I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we're doing today. So everyone's lines are muted right now. This is just to have the best experience for everyone, but this is Chai and Chat. So we want you to use the chat to put your questions. We have committee members on the call right now as well. So if you have any technical issues, you can put those in the chat as well. We're not just going to chat in the chat. We're going to have Q&A as well at the end. So you will have an opportunity to ask your questions aloud. The call will be 1 hour from now, but we will have a little after party. So about 30 minutes after, if there's more questions, our speaker is willing to stay. So if there's any additional questions, we have time for that. But if you need to go after an hour, that is completely okay. I'm going to hand it over to Mayor in just a moment to share with us, our committee lead, about our committee. I'm then going to introduce our speaker for today, Dr. Pritesh Mutha. And then, of course, we'll have our Q&A. So I would like to now hand it over to Mayor to tell us just a little bit about our team, and then I will introduce our speaker. So Mayor, I can hand it over to you.
Thank you, Payal. Hi, everybody. Jai Janendra, thank you so much for joining us today for our July Chai and Chat uh, episode speaker series. This is a brand new offering from our committee, and we plan to do this regularly on a monthly basis on a variety of topics. You'll be able to access our Chai and Chat talks or previous talks on our website, which we'll share with you. Once you connect with us, we'll share all of our resources and ways in which you can get involved and engage with us. The mission of our committee is relatively straightforward. Our goal is to advance sustainable, plant-based, um, and compassionate living. And there are a number of things that go into that. Uh, but the way we do that, the way we hope to accomplish our mission, is to plant these seeds of thinking, of awareness, and then action, actual change, whether it's in our own lives or in our community. But it's really to just create that environment that you feel like you are making a difference. And so our job as a committee is to create that space for anybody who's aligned to our mission. And we'll share specific initiatives and programs a little bit later in the program. And if we can go to the next slide. And uh, this is a QR code that will take you to us. Please scan it. It'll be available throughout the presentation. Just make sure you sign up for our newsletters. Take a look at our website. You'll see a number of initiatives there. And I won't get into all of the initiatives, but we want to welcome you to join us in our effort to either stay in touch with us, to join our team, uh, to be a part of some of the campaigns. So just make sure you reach out to our committee and share any ideas, anything that we could be doing, and that's it. So I want to ask Payal to jump right into it, but I also want to say, Payal, I do have my plant-based cha with me, by the way. And my favorite cha, and I think, yeah, there you go, you do too, is soy milk masala with masala chai with ginger. And then I like my coffee with oat milk. So I thought I'd share that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I think I'll also share at the end my recipe for my chai masala. So stay tuned for that. Maybe during the Q&A, I'll pop that into the chat. So thank you so much for sharing about our committee and ways to connect. If you didn't get the QR code, we will share it again at the end, not to worry. But now I would like to introduce our speaker today, Dr. Pritesh Mutha, who is an interventional gastroenterologist and lifestyle medicine specialist at UTHealth Houston, where he also serves as an associate professor. A Jain philosophy practitioner and teacher, he co-founded Stress Academy, which brings together modern medical science and Jain principles. His work has helped many patients achieve medication-free, disease-free lives, and today he's bringing that wisdom to us. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Mutha.
Thank you, Payal, Mayur, and entire Jaina Ahimsa Eco-Vegan Committee. It's a pleasure and honor to be here, to be part of this initiative, and to be speaking to everybody. And thank you for all the audience members from joining all across the world, especially on your Sunday and with all the other events going on, making time for this. So I want to thank you all for this. All right, so as you heard, the title is Jain Diet and Lifestyle Recipe for a Disease-Free Life. So I'm going to talk about it and we'll try to keep it interactive. So please type in your answers in the chat box and the hosts will members will talk about it on your behalf. All right, so this is the first slide in this lifestyle medicine intervention. Whenever you probably majority of you drive a car, whenever you see this light on the dashboard of your car, what do you guys think? What do you guys do? You can write it in your chat box, and members, you also can chime in. What do you guys do when you
Yeah,
see this?
I'll offer one thing for you while we're waiting for people to type into the chat.
Yeah.
I won't necessarily say I do this, but I think some of us might ignore it for the first couple of days.
Okay. And if you take an initiative or action, what would you do?
And so we've got
Okay.
some things coming into the chat. So we've got check the service records and see if anything is required for car service. And we've
Okay.
also got panic.
Panic. Okay. Um, so if I say that, there's a amazing, technician in town, car mechanic, who can actually put a very nice cover on this light that you cannot see it. How about that? Will you like it? Just cover it up very nicely. You won't even know the light is there. Will that be good?
Okay, answers are coming in. No.
No, no. How about if I tell you there's a mechanic who can actually change the light up to change the color to make it more pleasing color? Will that be okay?
We're
Or
changing the color. I think we're getting not really.
no. How
Nope.
about if you remove the light entirely? That mechanic is so good, he can remove the mechanic or he can remove that light completely so you won't see the light at all. You'll probably tell me, what are you talking about this, Dr. Mutha? There is something serious going on. Well, we understand that about our car, but somehow we do not understand that about our body. Whenever we have high blood pressure, what do? We suppress it. Whenever we have high sugar level, we suppress it. So whatever high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high sugar, whatever it might be, we just try to suppress it and we call it a treatment. So we understand this basic thing about our car, but when it comes to our body, we mess it up. Let's understand what we can do differently. So let's understand what causes majority of the diseases. 80%, my personal opinion, more than 90%, even more than 95%, but the data says 70 to 80% of diseases. So type in your answer. Is it genetics? What is the major cause of the diseases? Is it genetics, germs, diet and lifestyle? You can type in number in your chart, in your chat box. Global warming, or we don't know.
We got one right in answer that said gut. And then we have a lot of, let's see, threes, diet and lifestyle, food, all of the above, one, three, and four. More
1 and 3 and
threes.
4.
Diet and lifestyle. Diet and lifestyle 3. That's coming in very strong. Diet and
Okay,
lifestyle.
okay. No bias, right? The title is kind of revealing a little bit. All right. So we think genetics, germs, diet and lifestyle, some of you think that probably all of these, majority of our books say that we don't know. Majority of our, but true cause is diet and lifestyle. True cause is diet and lifestyle. And we'll learn how. But as I said, majority of our medicine books tell us that we don't know what's truly the cause. Germs are there, genetics is there, global warming, all of these things. All right. So what is the best diet to prevent, treat, or even reverse diseases? Atkins diet, it came out in 1980s and it was revamped in 1990s. Or Mediterranean diet, it was also actually a product in 1980s from a different committee. Keto diet, very popular these days. Weight Watchers program or something else.
We've got a vote for 2. And a
2,
write-in answer for
Mediterranean
no
diet.
grain or flour diet. 2, 5, 2, 5, 5. Something
We're
else,
talking
whole
about
food,
reversing
plant-based.
diseases. Remember, this part is people forget that we're talking about reversing, treating disease and not just preventing.
We've got a lot of 5s. We
A
got
lot
one
of
6.
fives, something
Yeah.
else. Okay, okay.
No grain,
Yes,
no
it's
pain.
something else.
Yeah,
People,
okay.
Atkins diet was pretty bad. Mediterranean diet is good, but not there. Keto diet, absolute worst. Weight Watchers. But our data, medicine books tell us there is no such thing. You cannot reverse it. That's such a sad thing. All right, so I'm going to give you a quick case. This is my patient. 39-year-old young software engineer, lives in Bangalore, was doing everything fine, everything was going good. One day started having some chest pain, got worried, went to the doctors, got his blood pressure checked, got all of the tests done, echocardiogram, stress test, blood pressure, cholesterol check. And they found out that he had new onset diabetes, high blood pressure, along with elevated cholesterol. And they were like, you have to take these medicines. They prescribed him about 4 or 5 different medications. And they were like, how long do you have to take it? They're like, essentially for lifetime. At that time, he reached out to me. And he's like, is there anything else we can do? I was like, well, are you willing to do everything I ask you to? He's like, yes. And that's when we're like, let's try lifestyle medicine, see what happens. In 3 months, diabetes was reversed, blood pressure normalized, cholesterol normalized. The power of lifestyle medicine. So there is an American College of Lifestyle Medicine. What does it say? That lifestyle medicine is a specialty that uses therapeutic lifestyle intervention. Now, what does that even mean? Therapeutic lifestyle intervention. It's like instead of giving a tablet, we're giving a lifestyle as treatment and not tablet. That's a therapy, that's treatment. Not just prevention, not just control, but treatment of diseases, treatment of chronic conditions, including but not limited to heart disease, diabetes, obesity. And of course, it provides prevention in addition to multiple diseases. That's the power of lifestyle medicine. It can treat. All right. So Jain way of life. We all know Tirthankars were omniscient, Kevalis, right? Keval they know everything. They know what has happened, what is happening, and what will happen. They know what's best for you, how you can achieve the path. So of course they're giving you path to achieve infinite happiness. That cannot be a path where you get sick. That will be a path that will actually heal you so you can do more focused tapasyas to actually reach the goal. Correct? They know everything. How can they give you something that is hurtful for your body so that you end up taking medicines? We clear on that? All right. So I'll give you these some examples. I see a ton of patients who are Jains. This is Jain Shravak, 50 years old, does daily Naukarshi, daily Ratri Bhoshan Tyag, regular Upvas up to 5 per month, never consumes root vegetables, avoids green lilotri, on Tithi days and during Chaturmas, monsoon time. Still the weight was 97 kilo, obese. Height was 5 feet 8 inches, so way above the normal weight expectation. And what did he have? He already had obesity, of course, arthritis in joints, swollen joints, borderline diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and we're on the verge of getting heart disease, brain disease, everything in next few years if we continue on this path. Why is this happening? Now, this is Shravak. We can say Shravak do all kinds of stuff. Let's talk about Sadhu. Jain Shwetambar Sadhu, 50 years old, extremely strict diet and lifestyle. You all know that. Still had obesity, truncal obesity, arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Why is that happening? Well, Digambar Sadhu had even more strict diet and lifestyle. 55-year-old Sadhu, extremely strict diet and lifestyle, still have diabetes, high cholesterol. What's going on here? Why are we still getting sick even after following the Jain diet and lifestyle? We know Kevali Bhagwan are omniscient, right? They know everything. Sarvagya. Then what's happening? What's going wrong? Where are we going wrong? What are we missing? Have we misunderstood Jain diet and lifestyle? That's the question we need to ask. Because Bhagwan cannot be wrong. So our interpretation somewhere is kind of going wrong. What does true Jain literature, original Agam say? We have to go back and look. And how is it connected to this modern lifestyle medicine? American College of Lifestyle Medicine was formed about 23 years ago. And since then on, lots of doctors have board certified themselves in lifestyle medicine. And they have transformed lives of people with lifestyle medicine. So let's understand this connection between the two. So what is truly lifestyle medicine? There are 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine. One is nutrition, the most important. About 80% of illnesses rely on this one single pillar. Whole foods, plant-based diet. But people might say, oh, I eat at home. So my diet is whole foods, plant-based diet. I eat Jain food at home. I don't even go to restaurants and still I'm sick. So there is something wrong. We can end up cooking wrong foods, bad foods right in our own kitchen. And unfortunately, we are doing that unknowingly. Physical activity, exercise. You had a phenomenal lecture by Sujal Sancheti last month on this topic. So we are not going to cover that topic. Restorative sleep. Sleep is very important. Of course, due to time constraint, I'm going to only focus on nutrition part. Stress management is also another pillar. We are not going to talk about that, but I'll touch base on the 5th pillar, avoidance of risky substances. And there's another pillar called positive social connections, volunteering. Now, we may say that all of us Jains volunteer, so that's phenomenal. But the key is selfless volunteering. If we expect something, be it our name, be it some thank you, be it whatever, then that's not selfless. And that can actually hurt you. So there are 6 pillars. We are only going to focus on number 1 and number 5 today. Yeah. Mainly the whole discussion is going to revolve around what's the right diet. All right. That's the first pillar. So let's talk about the deficiency part. What is the most common nutrient deficiency in Western world? Protein deficiency. Number 1, right? Everybody's talking about protein these days. Is it the most common deficiency? Or is it vitamin B12 deficiency? About vitamin D deficiency? Fiber deficiency. I gave away the answer. It's the fiber deficiency. The goal is, well, actually minimum required is 28 to 30 grams for females and for males 40 grams. That's the minimum. Ideally, we should strive to get as much as we can. The healthiest people used to consume about 80 to 100 grams of fiber. Now let's learn a little bit more about it. What is fiber? What are its benefits? So fiber deficiency in America, at least 97% of Americans are deficient in fiber, but nobody's bothered about that. Everybody is so focused on protein deficiency. When protein deficiency is extremely rare, like less than 3%, less than 1% even in America are actually protein deficient. But everybody's worried about taking protein, which is actually hurtful. And fiber is the bigger problem. Fiber, when you consume, it goes into your gut, in your large bowel, colon. There are about 100 trillion bacteria there. They break it down and produce this most important chemical, short chain fatty acids. There are multiple other chemicals that are produced, but this is the most important, single most important anti-inflammatory chemical in your body that is produced when fiber is broken down in your gut. Gut microbiome thrives on fiber. Now, gut microbiome, when I say, I'm talking about good gut microbiome. There are bad microbiome means bacteria, and we'll go into it in a little bit detail. So bacteria in your gut, they thrive on fiber, the good bacteria, which are helpful for you. The bad bacteria, they do not like fiber. They like all the bad foods. And those bacteria play an important role in all kinds of diseases that you end up with. So which foods do not have fiber? Now, this is the most important part. Animal products, dairy products, eggs, meat. Now, of course, as Jains, we do not eat eggs or meat, but dairy is everywhere in our diet. From morning chai, we're talking about chai pe charcha, right? Chai and chat, but we're talking about whole foods plant-based diet. So this chai is green tea or matcha tea, not dairy milk tea. Refined and processed foods have no fiber in it. So sugar, which is big part of our diet. Oil, big part of diet, no fiber. Packaged processed foods, no fiber. Artificial flavors, emulsifiers, coloring agents, preservatives, all-purpose flours, all of this, zero fiber. And if you look at your diet, majority of your calories are coming from these kind of products. So you end up with so many calories with zero fiber in it, and you become fiber deficient. So whole foods, plant-based diet, that is foods rich in fiber, equal to healthy gut microbiome. So your diet should contain fruits, grains, legumes, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. This is going to give you all the nutrients you need to make sure you're healthy from within. And you want to make sure your diet is like a rainbow diet. You see seven different colors in your diet, in your plate, because every color gives you different phytonutrients, different chemicals to help you heal from within. Your microbiome, again, is the gut bacteria in your colon. They thrive on fiber, healthy bacteria. They produce these important chemicals. The goal should be more than 40 grams a day, and you should take whole foods, not supplement, not fiber supplement, okay? A lot of people are like, oh, I need fiber, I'll just take fiber supplement. They go and buy Metamucil, and actually it has all these preservatives in there, which are actually even more hurtful. Isabgol is an exception. Isabgol is actually a whole food. You can take Isabgol, which is nothing but psyllium extract. You can have that. So what you should not be eating per lifestyle medicine? You should not be eating all the animal products should be avoided. So no yogurt. Yeah, yogurt to bahut saru hoy chhe na, but no yogurt, no dairy yogurt, okay? No yogurt coming from cow's milk or any animal product. No milk, no chas, of course no eggs. The big one is no cheese. Everyone is addicted to cheese. The worst product among all the dairy products is cheese. Absolute worst. Should not consume. Ghee, whatever people say, ghee is bad, should not be consumed. So absolutely no dairy products. And no processed foods. So no oil, no sugar, no jaggery even, no packaged processed foods, no chips, none of that stuff. So where does Jainism align with that? Well, what do we call these things? We call this Mahavigai. Madh, mas, madira, makhan, honey, meat, butter, and alcohol. We should not be consuming any of these as a Jain. So butter, if you notice, it has kind of, creeped into our diet big time. Per Jainism, you should not be consuming that at all. Even when the milk was apparently Ahimsa milk, even then it was considered Mahavigai. You should not be consuming. So no alcohol, no butter, no meat, and meat includes egg, no honey. Of course, cheese is part of this. Don't say that I don't see cheese here, so I'm okay to eat cheese. No, cheese is part of this. Generally, they say if you want to call yourself Jain, you have to most importantly give up Mahavigai, never even touch it. And there is this concept of Vigai, which means milk, yogurt, ghee, oil and oily foods, sugar, jaggery. These vigais Mahavir Swami Bhagwan told us not to consume 2500 years ago. What do these vigai do? They cause health, physical as well as mental issues. And how so? Let's learn about that a little bit. So the term vigai means vigati. That means lesser form of life, either tiryansh gati or narak gati. Gai means gatis. Gati is the place of birth for a soul, right? We know there are four gatis: human, celestial, hell, or tiryansh, animal, plant. It also means vikruti. Vikruti means distorted or sensual thoughts, passions, heightened stimulation of senses. Now, what does it do? It attracts bad karmas. And bad karmas lead to all kinds of problems, not just in future lives, but even this life as well. So whenever we talk about karmas, oh, I'm having this problem because of my karmodaya, it's not all the karmas that you did in your past lives. Even in this life that you're consuming is also causing good or bad karmas that is actually giving you results instantaneously in this life, and it may carry on into your next life as well. So it's a dynamic thing. It's not like something happened in the past that is giving me product today, and whatever I'm doing today is going to give me results next life. It is happening all the time. We have to understand this. Vigais are hurting you. Mahavigais and vigais are absolutely hurting you mentally and physically, and that's the cause of illness. Because what happens is Shravak and Shravikas are consuming these vigais, and guess what we do for Maharaj said? When they come, Sadhu Maharaj, we serve them. What do we serve them? Vigai rich foods. So they unknowingly are getting sicker because of what we are serving them. So Vikruti can be at the physical, mental, or psychological and spiritual level. So it's very, very important that we actually give up these vigais. So there is this, Nava Vigayo Pannattao Tam Jha Khiram Dadhim Navaniyam Sappim Telam Gulo Mahum Majjam Masam. This Vigai and Mahavigai Stotra, according to Sthananga Sutra, one of the 12 Anga Agams, Vigai are of these 9 such types which should be given. We should be, totally stopped. We should give up all these Vigais. These are the Vigais that are causing problem. This is the Sthananga Sutra, main Agam. This is Pachkan Bhashya, first chapter, 40th verse. Vigaim Vigai Bhiyo, Vigai Gayam Jo U Bhunjaye Sahu. Vigai Vigai Sahava, Vigai Vigaim Balani. What does it mean? Whenever we eat Vigai, it increases our sensual thoughts and passions, causes Vikruti, which ultimately leads us to a lesser form of life. But it just doesn't lead to lesser form of life. It leads to lesser quality of your life too, starting this life itself, which manifests as various kind of diseases. And guess what do you do when you have disease? We go back to that engine check light. You go to the doctor, they suppress it by giving you medications, which are again, majority of the medications are extremely violent, where there is some kind of non-veg in there or has animal testing in there. And so we are consuming more violent things because we consume something that was going to hurt us already. So it's a vicious cycle that just keeps us taking down further and further. But we can change it. We can break that cycle. Now, because dairy is so dear to us, we need to talk about dairy a little bit. Very, very important, I think. Dangers of dairy consumption. We've heard about ethical aspect of it, and I'm going to talk about health aspect of it. In India, in US, many times I, talk with people and I'm surprised to hear that they don't know that cows produce milk only after they deliver a baby. Only after they get pregnant and deliver a baby, only then they produce milk. Remember this part. Never forget this part. Once you understand this concept, the whole thing starts making sense. Naturally produced by lactating mothers for their own babies, not for you. They are producing milk for their own baby. Cows, buffaloes, goats, whatever, doesn't matter. Any mammal, humans, whale, they produce milk for their own babies. Now, what's happening? The dairy farmer, he has to make money out of this. It's his business. So if the calf, the baby cow or baby calf, drinks milk, the farmer is losing money. The male calf is absolutely of no use anymore. It's taken away immediately, either sent to slaughterhouse or even more worse than slaughterhouse, worse things that we do. And there are lots of videos about that. But cow is very emotional animal, just like human beings. And feels now if our kid gets hurt or somebody hits our kid, how do we feel? We are enraged, we are angry, we have all kinds of emotions. And that releases all sorts of toxic hormones in our body. Same thing happens to the cow. And all these hormones are released in the body of this cow, which goes into the milk that is produced, and that milk comes to you that you consume. You might say, no, but the majority of these farms don't do it. Well, go and double check for yourself. Second thing, doesn't matter what's happening out there. What kind of milk are you consuming? Did you ever double check? Go and start looking at that. Even if no hormone is injected, naturally they are lactating, so their hormone levels are elevated. They're anxious and stressed out, so their hormone levels are elevated. Plus, they would not keep them pregnancy free because their production will stop. So while they're lactating, they will artificially inseminate and make them pregnant again. So the inherent hormone level for cows goes significantly higher. And that again is coming into your body and hurting you. So increased milk production, sometimes they'll give oxytocin, growth hormones on top of all the inherent hormones that I talked about earlier. And all of these are coming into your body through the milk you consume. What does it lead to? It leads to cancers. Many kinds of cancers are linked to dairy consumption. GI problems. I'm a gastroenterologist. I see tons of patients every day with so many problems which are easily preventable by diet and lifestyle. Those who actually follow through, they are like decades of suffering disappeared in a matter of months. But those who do not, they continue to suffer. Obesity, big time. Milk has 50% fat in it. 50% of calories come from fat. Besides the hormone, there is fat, and saturated fat is a major part of that. Going to give you obesity, heart disease, diabetes, menstrual problems because of the hormones in it. So any and every disease you can think of comes and gets, you can connect it back to the dairy. Antibiotic resistance, that's something we don't think about. A lot of the doctors don't even know it. 70 to 73% of antibiotics across the world are given to cattle industry. So they are consuming these antibiotics, so they're injecting these antibiotics. So they become resistant to a lot of bacteria. Of course, as any doctor would say that if you give antibiotics repeatedly, you become resistant. You have bacteria which are resistant to antibiotics. Now, these bacteria actually travel to you via milk, and you end up becoming resistant to these common antibiotics. It's a constant battle for doctors to find new antibiotics because the older antibiotics aren't working and there is resistance. It's because of this. Saturated fat in milk, even if you say, oh, milk is okay, I consume 2% milk. The regular milk has about 48%, 49% calories from fat. 2% milk has 38% fat in it. So it's a myth that 2% milk has low fat. It's still 38% fat. So besides the hormone, the fat in it is going to give you stroke, heart disease, diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's, cognitive. Think about it. All the Jains that I talked about and the Jains around you, and maybe you might be one of them who are suffering from some of these diseases, go back and look at it, your diet. Even if you have changed recently, we have consumed this for decades of our life. And that's what's causing problem. There is this chemical that is formed in our gut called TMAO. It occurs in our gut from eggs and milk products, and it goes into your liver. Now this chemical can cause heart disease, kidney disease, increase your cancer risk. You know, Dr. Kim Williams, he was the president of American College of Cardiology. He's ex-president now. He was like, this single chemical itself is the reason enough to stop dairy completely. Just this chemical itself, because it increases your heart disease risk 2 times straight away just by this chemical. He even said to this point, there are only 2 types of heart doctors. One is vegan and the other one who has not read the data. These are his words. He's a cardiologist, president of American College of Cardiology, who's giving out guidelines for the entire world. So what happens? Allergies and inflammation. This is such a common thing, not just allergies that you see. Many of the allergies you don't even see it. Dairy will give you all sorts of allergies. And a lot of Ayurvedic doctors back in the day also used to say that give up dairy and your allergies will disappear. I see that in my practice on a daily basis. Many of the allergies patients even don't know that's happening all the way inside. You have no idea. You just feel regular GI symptoms, but they are causing problem. So your nasal allergies, eczema, skin problem, asthma, IBS, joint pain, autoimmune diseases, all of that, dairy is playing an important role besides, of course, the processed food and chemicals. I have been able to successfully reverse so many patients from these diseases just by changing their diet and lifestyle. All right, so what should your food be? It should grow on a plant in the farm, all right? Then it should not go to food industry. If it is going to food industry and coming to your table like this, do not consume. These are vegan products, but toxic. It should grow on a plant and then come to your table directly. Farm to table, but in plant form, not animal form. Okay? That's the most important part. Whole foods, plant-based diet. These are some of the examples. Colon with ulcerative colitis, large intestine. I see patients, I have a panel of patients who have inflammatory bowel disease, either ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. And their colon looked like this, very inflamed, very angry. They switched the diet, followed the 6 pillars of diet and lifestyle, and guess what? Their colon looked like later on. It's a journey. It's a journey. We have damaged our colon for decades. It's a journey. But if you understand the concepts and stick to it, I have so many, American patients who are pretty clear they don't want to take medicines, they want to stick to diet and lifestyle, and they're willing to go through this, and I'm able to successfully able to transform this, or sometimes even minimal medications are required and not high dose, huge long-term medications. Type 2 diabetes. Similarly, elevated diabetes, elevated A1C. I don't even intend to clear their diabetes or reverse their diabetes. I am treating their GI problems. As a side effect, their diabetes gets reversed. Heart disease can be reversed. Dr. Dean Ornish showed us in 1990s. He published that data, and we don't even know about it, unfortunately. Now, of course, if you have had stent, all sorts of issues, then you have to make sure you're in sync with your doctor. Whenever you make these changes, make sure your doctor is aware, because very soon you may not need a lot of medications, or medication dosage may have to go down. Otherwise, they will give you side effects. So be in touch with your doctors when you start making these changes. But many people think, yeah, all this is right, but my mom had it, my father had it, my grandparents had it, so it's all genetics, it's not the diet because I eat healthy. That's the biggest myth that has been propagated. There's a very small percentage of diseases that is purely genetic, like your eye color or your hair color or your skin color for that matter, your height. These are related to your genetics. I get that. That's dominant gene that comes, and that's what the result is. It's a dictator gene. It will come and tell you this is exactly what's going to happen. There are majority of the genes, they are like, committee of genes. They decide, oh, because you have this diet and lifestyle, I'm going to give you this disease. Because you have this diet and that lifestyle, I'm going to reverse your disease. That's what the genes play a role. But even more importantly, the gut microbiome. Now I'm going to go back to the bacteria in your colon. These are the gut bacteria in your colon, about 100 trillion of them. There are more than 3,000 different species. But if you have poor diet and lifestyle, the number of species start dropping. And to be healthy, you need to have more diverse, more number of species. The total number of cells in your body in this colon is about 30 trillion, which is 3 times, in your body there are 30 trillion cells, but the cells, because of these bacteria, they're 3 times your body cells. So what does that mean? The genetic data in these bacteria is about 150 times your genetic data. Now, what does that even mean? The genes that you carry are only 1% creating an impact. 99% of genes are coming from these bacteria, which are producing the chemicals which will either heal you or hurt you. And the beauty of it is these genes are totally under your control. You change your diet, you change the bacteria, and the genes change, which release the chemicals which will either help you or hurt you. So it plays a key role in health and in disease. More than 95% genes in your body. There is something called as epigenetics. Genes are like loaded gun, but your diet and lifestyle is the trigger. If you have bad genes but good diet and lifestyle, those genes cannot do anything to you. But if you have poor diet and lifestyle, the good genes will be turned off, bad genes will be turned on, and you will end up suffering with diseases. Now, fasting is also important. We are not going to spend too much time. I'm just going to give you a couple of slides on that one. In 2016, scientist Oshumi received Nobel Prize for discovering fasting causes autophagy. You know what is autophagy? Autophagy is a process where your cell breaks down and removes damaged or dysfunctional components, recycling them for energy and building new cellular structures. Now, this is a medical term. What it means is when you fast, your body breaks down all the damaged cells in your body, all the diseased cells in your body. And guess what? When it breaks down, it uses the products of it as raw material to nourish the good cells of your body. Look at the power of this. It destroys the bad cells and uses it to strengthen the good cells of your body. That's what fasting does. And he discovered that in 2016. Well, who told us it was good for you? This was 2500 years ago. Mahavir Swami Bhagwan already told us that was good for you. We have 12 taps. Those are the key recipe for disease-free life. There are 6 Abhyantar and 6 Bhyantar taps. But whenever we talk about tap, we think about Ekasana, Vyasana, Ayambil. But we forget the true taps. If you go to Tattva Sutra, you will learn there are 6 Abhyantar, 6 Bhyantar. In the Bhyantar, if you just learn about first 4, you will see that there are so many options there. But on a day-to-day basis, what do we think about? Anshan Upvas, Naukarshi, Porsi, avoiding eating late in the night after sunset, Ekasana Vyasana, where we minimize the hours that we actually eat. That's Anshan. There is Unodri, means eating less than needed for satisfying hunger and appetite. There is Vritti Sankshev. That means you curtail the desires by limiting the number of food items one consumes at any given time. And the most important, number 4, Rasatyag. Avoiding 4 Mahavigais and 6 Vigais. We call it Ayambil, but in Ayambil we give up veggies and fruits. I'm saying give up Vigais and Mahavigais. Keep that as your priority. So first tap Anshan, second tap Unodri, third tap Vritti Sankshep, fourth tap Rasatyag. Very, very important. Of course, every tap is important, but these 4 are basic. Our bigger problem, we see that a lot of Jains who do tapasya still are sick because how do we break our fast? How do we do our parna? If you go back and look at it, it's rich in oil, rich in sugar, rich in dairy. So again, we are bringing all the vigais back. After we gave our body chance to heal, we end up putting all of the vigais back in the body and we end up becoming sick. Otherwise, our people, Jain people who do a lot of tapasya should not be getting sick. So we have to learn the art of doing proper parna. I'm just going to give you a quick example about how you can change your diet and lifestyle, even if you're eating at home. What do we do first thing? Chai. The topic itself is chai, right? The title itself is chai. But right chai. Eat green instead of Indian chai which is not truly Indian. It's Britisher tea that we put dairy in it. So we have processed tea, dairy milk, sugar, everything that is recipe for disaster. Instead, what you should do is green tea, hibiscus tea, matcha tea, green juice, green smoothies, or other smoothies that we create all the time, healthy smoothies to help you in the morning. You can do that easily. What do we do for snacks? Farsan, chivdo, fafda, jalebi, poha, biscuit, cookies, bread, toast, bagel. All these things, packaged processed food. Instant, have fruits. Have rolled or steel cut oats. There's so many other such healthy recipes which are not hard to actually implement in your life. But it will change your health big time. In our meal, what do? We have parathas, chapati, rotli. What do? Either there is oil in it or on top of it and then there is ghee on it. So that 50 calorie rotli becomes 100 calorie all of a sudden, and 50% of your calories are coming from fat, and toxic fat at that. You can change to whole grain rotli, parathas with no oil ghee. That means lukhi rotli. Start making that change. Yeah, it will be a little bit hard in the beginning because you have to do that transition. You will help. Salads, very important. Add plenty of salads. Chutneys, actually, we used to have chutneys, right? Variety of chutneys, a little bit of flaxseed chutney, a little bit of this, pudina chutney. We always had these kind of chutneys. You can add them back, but make sure there is no oil in it, there is no sugar in it, make sure there is no dairy in it. Now, majority of the chutneys don't have any of these things, but just double check. Vegetables. Majority of my family members, friends, and patients will have only this much serving of vegetable. Sharp. And also that is loaded with, oh, tail vagar to chaled nahi. So we have to, there is nice little layer of oil in it. You can do oil-free cooking. You can do oil-free tadka. You can do oil-free vagar. Easy to do. You cannot even tell the difference. We do that at our home that way. We do not use oil in cooking, and we still are able to do everything. So you should have vegetables, curries cooked in zero oil, ghee, or dairy. Yeah. White rice, again, same thing. Polished. So we remove fiber, we remove nutrients, instead go to brown rice, where you do not remove the fiber, you do not remove the nutrients. And this is just a starting point. There are plenty of options. If you like Western diet, there are whole foods pasta, whole foods, you can do noodles too, even from made from whole foods. There are plenty of options that you can do, easily available in today's day and age. With Chat GPT and online, you get all sorts of sources. The fifth pillar is avoidance of risky substance. I'm moving on. And alcohol, I have to tell this to Jains, we gotta quit drinking alcohol completely. Every sip of alcohol is poisonous, is inviting 7 different cancers. 7 different cancers. You know, avoid 7 Mahavyasan. Jainism has said that there are 7 great addictions: meat, alcohol, and all the other drugs, gambling, hunting, extramarital or premarital affairs, prostitution, and stealing. So as a Jain, we should not be doing any of these. But in addition, we are also addicted to that cha made from cow's milk, that coffee which has to have that creamer in it. No, not good. It's hurting you. Give up all the addictions. All right. Okay. This is the last slide. I'm just going to talk about 5 elements of yoga or Ayurveda, which talks about fasting, nutrition, which is of course whole foods, plant-based diet, water, sun therapy, that is fire, which is very important. Every single aspect of this is important, but the most important is diet. So hopefully before today, with any disease, you were like thinking, 95% of my treatment comes from medicine, 5% from diet and lifestyle. Today, hopefully it will be 50-50, and with your future goal will be 95% of your treatment should come from diet and lifestyle, and only 5% from medicine when absolutely needed, only then. All right, so 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine are the recipe to reverse diseases. Key is to give up vigai, all vigai, consume only whole foods, plant-based diet. Look into 12 taps, learn about them. That's the age-old recipe by Jainism to prevent, treat, and even reverse diseases. It will help you become mentally and physically healthy, become medicine-free and disease-free. Always talk to your doctor if you're already on medicine while making these changes. Advance spiritually and achieve the state of infinite happiness by following these 12 taps. I know I ran over a little bit, but I wanted to make sure you understand what I'm saying. These are the resources. You can, scan this QR code. You can take picture of this. This is a phenomenal website, nutritionfacts.org, to help you answer all kinds of questions you may have. There are these movies that I have listed. Download this app, Dr. Greger's Daily Dozen. This is a phenomenal app. It will make sure you get all the nutrients on a daily basis. At least you will know in your mind what categories you need to hit to ensure you get all the healthy food in your body, all the nutrients in your body. You may have to take B12 supplement, which is listed on there as well. And there are some books that I have listed as a starter pack. These are phenomenal resources. If you use them, you will definitely start your journey towards disease-free, medicine-free life. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mutha. This was amazing and inspiring for me. I definitely got a like fire in me to get more fiber, to kind of go back to see like my vegetables and look at my diet and also think about the intermittent fasting. Those are my personal takeaways. I wanted to open it up to questions. I know that there were some in the chat, so if it's okay with you, Dr. Mutha, I want to read off some of those questions
Yes,
so that we
please.
can get them
Absolutely.
answered. If you please feel free to continue to use the chat to ask your questions, but we will have an opportunity for you to ask them aloud as well. What you can do is also just use the raise hand icon or the raise hand. I don't know if we have that. Do we have that? I think we have that.
We do.
But in any case, you can just put it in the chat and we can get you to ask your questions aloud. So there was a question about why jaggery. I think that was one of the things that you had said to avoid. So if you could answer that one for us first.
So jaggery is also one of the veggies. What does it do? That's from Jainism standpoint. From modern science standpoint, jaggery is again fiberless product. There's no fiber in jaggery. And in today's day and age, majority of jaggery is rich in chemicals. Back in the day, they used to use, okra, lady's finger, binda to clear up all the toxins. They don't do that anymore. Plus, when you consume jaggery, you have tremendous spike in your sugar level. Whenever you have a spike in sugar level, insulin is triggered. Insulin spike, and insulin leads to inflammation, weight gain, invites all kinds of diseases. So no, no jaggery either.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for
Now,
that.
of course, occasionally if you do a little bit, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like an everyday thing. Every meal we put jaggery. That's what we have. We are habitual. No, hame to Gujarati chhe. We're going to put that in there. No, not needed. Actually, that's why we are all sick. Look around. Every one of us is sick or on the verge of it.
Yeah. And I think there's a follow-up. If not jaggery, how about dates?
Dates you can eat. Now, whole dates have fiber in it. Of course, if you have diabetes, you have to be mindful, but otherwise, you can use dates, no problem. Now, what happens is whenever we extract something out of dates, that's the problem. Use the whole date, and that's good.
Right. Like so like avoiding like date syrup or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the key
Yeah.
is always, did it grow on the plant that way? If it did not grow on plant that way, that means it has been tampered with. That means something you want to stay away from.
Yeah. That's a good rule of thumb. Yeah. Another question we got was, can flour remain whole after milling? So is it still considered
That's
whole?
That's a very good question. Actually, wheat flour, let's say, we take out wheat bran, and wheat bran is rich in fiber. Many times we have to give patients wheat bran for their problems such as hemorrhoids or something. Not perfect by any means, but if you put oil or ghee in it, absolutely bad. So what you can do is you can minimize rotli. I consume like two tiny rotlis, and I just do one meal a day, and I'll have 2 to 3 tiny rotlis in there which do not have any oil or ghee in it. So your question is very good. It's not perfect, but you don't make it worse because it's very hard to change what we've been doing for decades. We don't want to disrupt it completely. So that's why I'm giving you this option. Plus, you can go with, bajra, jowar. There are other options which have much more fiber in it than this. So there are options. You can go with ragi. There are so many other options that you can explore.
Yeah. And there are tons of questions coming into the chat, so I want to get to them, but there was a couple more that were early on. I think I've got about two more. One is, why is tea part of the ideal diet if it didn't exist? Like, I think the question was 200 years ago, because I think
Couple
you
hundred
listed the
years ago,
tea.
Britishers brought, processed tea. So green tea, when you talk about leaves, the whole leaves, if you green tea leaves, either you boil them or you crush them and use that as a powder, then it's still whole. It's very healthy. But the moment you process that leaf and make it highly processed, the tea powder that you get, that's not how it grows on plant. The tea powder that you get is extremely processed. Plus, what we do is we add milk in it, which is again toxic, we learned. Plus, what we do is we add sugar in it. That is again toxic. That's why and we start our day with it. A lot of people that I know drink 4, 5, 6 cups of these, products. I don't even call it food on a daily basis. And I know them. These are my friends, relatives, patients. They've had cancers, prostate cancer. They've had heart diseases, strokes, liver diseases, fatty disease, all kinds of problems just because of consuming or majorly consuming dairy products.
Yeah. It
Lack of
almost sounds like some things become a vehicle for other things. And so
absolutely.
then we are consuming all the other stuff. So yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so then we had a question about, I think the question was about, is basmati rice okay? And then there was a second follow-up question with that about concern about arsenic in brown rice. So I don't know if you can speak to that.
So I'll answer the first question. Basmati rice. Basmati is brand. Remember that. There's no such rice as basmati is brand. So you can have basmati brown rice or highly polished rice. In our mind, generally, the way you're asking question, I'm thinking basmati rice in our mind is when we use it for occasional, is the long grain, highly polished, very white looking. That's extremely polished, not good. But if you do brown rice of basmati brand, that's phenomenal. Now, arsenic, there is toxins everywhere in the system. But when you concentrate that toxin, when you consume that toxin on a daily basis, like cow does by consuming all these products, and it's concentrated in her body, in her fat, and that comes to your body, so you're getting concentrated dose of toxins. So you have to be mindful of that. More polished rice, less fiber. And guess what? How do you get rid of toxins from your body? Fiber goes into your colon. It absorbs all the toxins. It absorbs the toxins that are released from bile. So liver is another organ in our body which will actually get rid of the toxins through bile. But if you do not have fiber, all of that toxins get reabsorbed and keep recycling in your body. But if you consume fiber, it gets rid of it. And there are two types of fiber. I don't want to get into details of it, but one fiber is what it does absorption. When you eat whole foods plant-based diet, you're going to get all the fibers that you need. So you don't have to worry about, oh, do I need to worry about this fiber or that fiber? Don't worry about it. It's going to absorb toxins and going to get rid of it. You can easily add isabgol to your routine. It's a phenomenal fiber supplement. Isabgol or organic psyllium powder, you can buy it online. You can definitely add that to your routine. But do not go buy these branded fiber supplements. It has chemicals in it, and it actually can make matters worse. Eat actual whole foods.
Fantastic. Okay. I want to take, I know there's two people who have their hands raised, and I know that there's questions in the chat. So let's take the question from, let's see, Mr. Pradeep Shah. Do you mind unmuting yourself to ask your question? And I think we can, yeah, there we go. Oh, we got them muted again. There we go.
Namaste. I'm Mr. Pradeep Shah. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Pradeep bhai. તમે કેમ છો?
એકદમ મજામાં છું.
Yeah.
I am strictly last 15 years 100% vegetarian. I'm also on the fireless diet, so all fibers, natural fibers, because Bhagwan Mahavir Swami has also said for fireless diet also. So I'm practicing it, and many people have practiced and they've got miraculous results.
You're doing
So Bhagwan
amazing.
Mahavir Swami has given us super science, but somewhere there are a lot of distortions come in the over a period of time.
Yeah.
And we are luxuriously consuming veggies, mahavigais, and lot many other processed food, and junk food has also become a part of our lifestyle.
Absolutely.
So I think this is a very impactful program, and everybody should understand and accept this. And even Maharaj Sahib should practice this. That's what I feel.
Absolutely.
It's a great thing to listen to you.
Thank
And
you.
I'm
You're
practicing
doing-
fireless
Thank you.
diet. That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, I know we're coming to the end of the hour, so if you do need to leave, it is okay. We are still staying on to take more questions. I did,
I'll
if
be
it's
here. I'll
okay.
be answering questions.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you, Dr. Mutha. And if you don't mind, can I just ask our, I think Piyush Jain, our committee member, to just share just the follow-up, I suppose, for our committee. Would that be okay, Piyush?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thanks,
great.
Brad. Yeah.
Yeah, let me just yeah, you can go ahead. I'm going to share the slides in
Mhm.
just a moment, and then I'll
Yeah.
bring it back to you, Dr. Mutha.
Yeah, I'll be quick so that we can get back to the questions again because I know everyone has a lot of questions.
No
And
problem.
thanks everyone for joining this talk, firstly. And thanks to Dr. Pritesh for doing this talk. So thanks for pulling up the slide, Payal. So here's a QR code to our website. We'll be sending a follow-up email with all the details, with the recording of the talk as well. But if you still want to go ahead and scan this QR to, just fill in your information so that you are added to our mailing list, just as a extra step or extra precaution, I'll still be sending out the email. Uh, and just a bit about us, right? I know Mayur introduced our committee at the start. So we are doing all this to bring community together, right? To bring us together so that we can save this planet, reduce suffering for all beings, and improve our health in the process, right? And become better versions of ourselves, right? So we have a bunch of initiatives that we do. So this speaker series is one of them. We have sort of awareness events at Jain centers, talks for Pathshala kids, stuff like that. You'll find information on the website. We have a few talks upcoming. If you can click next, yeah. So there's going to be a talk by Pramoda Bain and Ruchika Bain on ahimsa, on what it means today. It's likely going to be in August. You'll get an email about it with the registration link. And then there's a few other talks we have planned for future. Also, Paryushan is around the corner. So there'll be a talk by Ashni on, animal sanctuaries, that is Pandra poles versus zoos, and we'll get some insight there. And a few more talks, as you can see on the slide. I won't go over them now. Um, I'm just checking my list if I had something else on my mind. No, I think that is all. We'll send an email about this. Yeah. Yeah. And thanks again, everyone. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, Mayur, if you want to touch base on this one, the talk by Arihanta Institute.
Sure. So
Mm-hmm.
just one of our partners, Arihanta Institute, which many of you may know, and some of you who may not, I welcome you to click on this link or go to this website. They do have a really interesting discussion tomorrow that is a part of their vegan studies initiative, and they have a number of other uh, lectures and programs. So we'll be sharing that information if you sign up to get our news and updates. This one is tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time. You can scan the QR to get more information. We're also going to be sharing some other partner programs with everybody who signs up to get our updates.
Also, I'll give it back to Payal, but I'll just post links on the chat if you don't want to miss them. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me just stop sharing here. Thank you again. If you did not get the QR codes, I know there was a lot of questions about the recording. We will have the recording. It will be emailed to you. We will also put it on our website, so you will have that available to you. So just want to make sure everyone knows that we have that. So I'm going to go back to the chat, and then I'll come back to the raised hands that are here as well. So one question actually that came up, Dr. Mutha, was, where do you practice and how can we connect with you?
So I practice in Houston, Texas. So the best is to connect with your local doctors. That's the key. If you look for wherever you are, there's going to be a lifestyle medicine practitioner in your local area. I do gastroenterology. I'm an advanced endoscopist. I do very cutting edge procedures. So generally speaking, I tell my patients, if you don't know what I do, that's a good thing because I do very complex cases, very sick patients. But when I see patients in my clinic, generally I'm booked out for 5 to 6 months. But if you're locally, I can definitely get you into my clinic. But that's always a challenge. So I give resources to my patient. These are the resources that I provided here are the same resources I give to my patients. And make sure your primary care physician, you find them who is on board with this plan. That's the best person because they are the ones who are prescribing you medicine. They are the ones who are checking it, all of these things. And that's where you're going to find the results. And these resources will guide you tremendously. The books, the websites, the apps, the movies are just for you to learn. But the website is going to actually, the Nutrition Facts website is going to give you all the resources. This app is going to make sure you get all the resources in your body on a daily basis. You can print it out, put it on your refrigerator or check box every day. Even after some time, you'll get completely used to it. And these books are phenomenal. I think every doctor must read it, not just the patients, and they're very easy to read.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that app. And Sunny from our committee is also saying that he uses the Daily Dozen app already. And he finds it a
Very,
very simple way to eat
very
better.
easy to use. And there's YouTube tutorial too on how to use it if you have a problem. Phenomenal app, and it's all free.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. There was like one more question in the chat I want to go to, and then I'm going to come to you, Anjali. So do you recommend daily intermittent fasting or full day fasting to trigger autophagy?
So daily intermittent is a good idea for your GI tract anyway, but doing more fasting every periodically is phenomenal. So you do 24-hour fast, let's say every 15 days or every month, and every quarterly you do 3 days fasting. I have white patients who have been doing like Varshitab essentially. Every other day they'll do 24-hour fast every other day. And they've been doing that for 1.5 years. They've lost so much weight. I have patients who've been doing fasting for 3 days every quarter. So they do essentially a thumb, 3 days fast every quarter. There is this center called True North Center in Northern California, where people have been treated with fasting for last 40 years for irreversible diseases. Minimum fasting there is water fast, Jain fast for 5 days. Moderate is 10 to 18 days, and maximum is 40 days. So, but of course, you don't want to go there all at once. You gradually want to build up. But recommendation on a daily basis, do 12 to 16 hours intermittent fasting. And whenever it's possible for you, and on purpose, I said 12 to 16 hours because everybody is at different stage in life. And this is a talk for everybody, right? So I don't know what specific situation everybody is in. So 12 to 16 hours per person every day. And make sure you increase slowly and steadily. And whenever you can, give a longer fast, 36 hours, 72 hours, 84 hours. We have Parishans every year. Use that as a phenomenal resource. Take a break. We take all kinds of vacation, but we don't take vacation during Parishan. I think that's very important. Take vacation, do your fast. And Upvas literally means being close with your soul. So follow all the 12 taps, not just the first anshan. That's just the basic one. There are plenty other taps in there, 12 taps, which will totally cleanse you mentally and physically within those 8 days or 10 days if you follow along with those 12 taps.
Thank you so much. Miss Anjali Kumar, you have your hand raised if you would like to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Good morning, Dr. Pritesh. I'm very happy to hear this talk. You have given a lot of information. Recently, I have been diagnosed with what is called
Rheumatology. Yeah,
rheumatoid
rheumatoid arthritis.
arthritis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question regarding that. Can this lifestyle help me with that? I'm also undergoing allopathic treatment. Can
Yeah.
it be used together?
Absolutely. So, this website, Nutrition Facts, you can go and check. But I did not mention this in my talk today. 70% of your immune system lies in your gut. And I give talks to medical students to explain them how autoimmune diseases, majority of them originate in your gut. So, poor diet and lifestyle and some medications on top of that. I mean, of course, it's a medical student talk, probably it's online, triggers these autoimmune conditions. So, yes, changing your diet, cleaning up your lifestyle is definitely going to help you. And there are patients who have reversed their autoimmune conditions by changing diet and lifestyle. Is it going to be 100% for you? I don't know that, but it will definitely help for sure and significantly at that. Just make sure you work with your doctor so you know they can adjust your medications accordingly. And follow the resources to make sure you check every single ingredient that goes in your stomach. What happens is many times we think, Nana, I'm eating very healthy anyway. Go back and look at your pantry. Go back and look at every ingredient. Ask yourself, is this how it grew on plant? Was there any chemical added? Am I taking protein supplements? That's one of the biggest challenge that I'm fighting a battle with. People are so crazy about taking protein supplement. Not good. Even gladiators never needed protein supplements. And they were plant-based, they were vegetarians. They were eating barley and fava beans and lupin beans. But we are so obsessed with protein supplements. So make sure to clean up your diet. And when I say diet, not just what we put in our body, what we put on our body as well, like what cream you're putting in, what lotion you're putting it on. All of these factors matter because everything that you put on your skin or your scalp actually goes into your body as well. So just clean up your diet and lifestyle and you'll start seeing results. Follow those books.
Great. I have another question. Since you talked about these supplements, so I take some multivitamin and vitamin B12, D3, like as supplements. Should I continue that, or should I just go focus on the diet rather?
I wish I could give you that answer. It's a much more detailed answer, and it depends on your personal labs and everything. So that's something you should follow. Daily doesn't have will tell you to take B12 supplement. Vitamin D should be dependent on on your blood work, your primary care doctor. Multivitamins, if you're taking daily dozen, making sure daily dozen goes in your body, then multivitamins I generally do not recommend, because it has every medicine you take, every supplement you take has some preservatives in it, has some chemicals in it which can be potentially toxic or sometimes even cancer causing. So that's a very broad question, which is not the right question for this forum, but these resources will guide you on that path.
Okay. Thank you very much, doctor.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much. Let me take the next raised hand. So I have, let's see, Nehal Bansali. Do you mind unmuting yourself and asking your question?
Yeah. Hi, Dr. Mutha.
Hello.
I had a quick question for you. You talked about how you eat one meal a day. So, just to, there's a lot of myths around how we grew up, like, oh, you must have doodh in the morning, you must have breakfast in the morning, you must eat so many meals a day, you need to consume. So, I just, looking at you, something which is tried and tested on your body, you work, you have a balanced lifestyle, you have plenty of energy for your family and everything that you want to pursue. And not to put you on the spot, but would you be able to share, like, what is a sample day for you? Like, do you just not eat anything until your evening meal? Would you mind
No,
sharing that?
that's a great question, Neilbin. So when I say one meal, I was talking about cooked meal. So I do fruits all day long. I do eat because I'm at work. I start my procedures in the morning and I'm busy with patients all day. I don't take a break. So in between procedures, I'll eat fruits. But I've been doing strength training and my coach is behind me to eat more calories. So what I do is I make a morning vegan smoothie, whole foods plant-based smoothie, where it's not cooked. So that smoothie is not cooked, and I eat fruits all day, and I have one meal in the evening. But previously, I just used to do fruits all day, sometimes additional some nuts along with that, and then in the evening I would have my meal after I come from work. So everybody is different. I would strongly recommend doing strength training and exercise. And Sujal gave a phenomenal talk last month. And I really like that she focuses on fiber and whole foods plant-based diet. And she's my coach too, actually. So she's phenomenal. Her talk is online. Go and listen to it. But fasting is also important. So just like rest is important, exercise is important.
Sujal.
Sujal Sancheti, there was a talk last time. So the point is, you
वो
want to
सुजल वही है वो जो जिस
can you mute yourself, please? Yeah. So, eating is also important, but giving your stomach a rest is also equally important. Exercise is important, and restorative sleep, sleeping properly is also important. So, body needs all these components in balanced way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really enjoyed your talk. And it's a great reminder for me, to keep working on my lifestyle. Thank you so, so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Yeah, me too. There was a question in the chat from Ruchika. Jains consume a lot of cheese, and you said cheese is the worst of them all. So could you tell us why you feel like cheese is the worst of them all?
Oh, cheese, absolutely. A great question. The worst, right? You can keep on consuming. You can have thousands of calories of cheese and you will not feel full. There is a reason behind it. Cheese affects your satiety hormone, so you can never feel full. So you will end up eating ton of calories. And many times people say, "Oh, cheese is good in protein," but they forget 70% of calories in the cheese are from fat, and majority of it is saturated fat, which is inviting heart disease. And we say, "Oh, kids are fine. It's for the adults you have to be careful." No, we have data from autopsies of kids. Of course, they died due to some unfortunate event like accident or something, and they did autopsy and they found that plaques were already building. Plaques means blockages were already building in their arteries, in their heart already before they turned 10. Why is that happening? Because we load them up with dairy products, which is rich in fat. Cheese, 70% fat. Plus, it has this protein which breaks down into a analog which looks like narcotic drug, opioids, and goes and triggers your addiction center in your brain. That's why when you have it, you cannot stop. It's like, I can stop everything, but I cannot stop cheese. This is the statement I hear all the time in my clinic. You have to wonder, why is this happening? Well, it is triggering your addiction center. So it's just like any other addiction. You have to come up with strategies to break that addiction. So absolute bad, heart disease invitation, cancer invitation, every single bad thing you can think of, it's coming because of that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us can definitely relate to how addictive cheese can be for sure. Sona, would you like to unmute yourself?
Thank you. Jai Jinendra, Doctor. Very informative session. I had a couple of questions.
Sure.
Like, what are your views on taking enema every 15 days, which I usually do? Does that clear off the good bacteria? I mean, does that affect the good bacteria? And how is enema? Taking enema every 15 days, is it a good option? Should I continue doing that?
So
And
that's, I think there is the Sattvic movement, kind of triggered that movement of taking enemas. I do ask my patients to take enemas, but that is for specific reason. If somebody has constipation going on, and if you do not fix their constipation, even if you change your diet to healthy diet, you still are miserable. And patients are like, I'm changing everything. Why am I getting more symptoms when I'm making the healthy changes? If you're plugged up down below, that's a problem. Okay. So in those situations, I recommend my patients to take enema, but I do not recommend that routinely. And I do not know the data behind their recommendation, why they recommend. So I'm not able to comment, but I do recommend that to my patients only when they have this problem. If you eat healthy, if you follow 12th up, your gut is going to be clean. And like Pradeep Bhai said, if you go on fireless diet, everything is going to be even more cleaner. But everybody is at different place. So I think this is a starting point that I give a talk on. This is the starting point, and we can build upon this.
because I usually feel good after taking enema, I feel good.
Because the colon has 8 to 9 feet long, and there's so much stuff sitting in there. We think that when I move my bowels in the morning, I'm okay, but I'm just clearing 15 centimeters, half a foot of colon. But we haven't cleared the rest of the colon. Why haven't we cleared? Because we haven't changed our dietary lifestyle. We are stuffing ourselves more than what we need. We're not exercising. We're eating all sorts of bad foods. Even though we think I'm just eating at home, I don't even go out in the restaurant. Go back and look at your diet. You will notice that there are lots of things that can be potentially changed or improved upon. Start doing strength training. Go out in sunlight. Do fasting, and you will notice that you will start clearing stuff really well.
Okay, doctor, on fasting, I had a question when you mentioned somebody is doing fasting every alternate day. So, how do you break that fast? Like, how do you maintain that? Others, you might bloat up if you
So
know.
when would you bloat up? When you start eating heavy stuff that is not digestible, right? So if you do every other day fast for a long period of time, your gut is going to adjust. But let's say you did a longer fast, like Atthai, 8 days fast. Then Jain people are very good at figuring out, आपके पास है 5 type ना तो पानी हो जाए 10 type ना, right? We have so many different types of panis. Just make sure you don't take any oil, any dairy products, any sugar. Now you're left with magnu pani without oil in it, or fruit juices, or vegetable juices. I never recommend fruit juices, but this is one time when you're breaking a fast, you can do fruit juice, but you can eat whole fruit as well. You can chew it real nice, have it whole fruit, or you can do green veggie smoothie, green veggie smoothie. You can do that. Whatever is light on your stomach when you're recovering, but do all those panis and let your stomach relax and recover, and then slowly add back stuff. You every other day when you're doing it, your gut is going to adjust. You're not going to get bloated. Just make sure watch your diet. We end up putting in lots of stuff because you're hungry, you start eating heavy stuff, dairy, oil rich stuff, and all of a sudden problems ensue.
So you break it with the if suppose I usually do 36-hour fast, but I've not done every, like if I want to continue doing in certain, say maybe every 3 days, to start with taking baby steps at a time. So
Yeah.
to break the fast, you would recommend
You can do it with fruits.
just liquid.
Just juicy, watery fruits.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sweet, juicy, watery fruits. You can do that. You can do that with magnu pani without oil. You can do other panis. and eat plenty of fruits. Fruits should be very important part of your diet. They get bad rep for no reason. Fruits are very, very important. Fruit juices are bad, but fruits are
Yeah.
phenomenal. Eat plenty of fruits every day.
Right.
Follow the daily dozen. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that question. And I want to there's one from the chat about intermittent fasting being suitable for diabetics. I think this question said that they don't have the will and the support, and their sugar level is good sometimes and bad sometimes. So they were saying, I think the question is, where can they get support and is it suitable?
So it's a challenge, especially if you've had a long-standing diabetes. When you have a long-standing diabetes, you become a brittle diabetic. So your sugars fluctuate a whole lot. So you don't want to jump into fasting is phenomenal for diabetes, but yeah, you need a primary care doctor who is on board with you. So always find a doctor, because what happens is we Indians always like second opinion. I always tell my patients, family members, friends that find the doctor you trust. Find the doctor, doesn't matter if you go to two, three doctors, but find the doctor you trust and then rely on them and tell them that this is what I want to do, get them on board and work with them. That relationship is most crucial. It's phenomenal. By the way, fasting for diabetes is phenomenal. Of course, type 1 diabetes, it's a different story. Type 2 diabetes, that kind of, develops because of obesity, insulin resistance. That kind, patients have reversed their diabetes by that. But lots of factors go in. Again, it's a very specific individual question, not for this platform. Has to be properly, looked at. Your primary care should be on board. Medicines should be managed. All of those factors come in.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Let me go back to the raised hands. Bharti-ben Parekh, if you would like to unmute.
Yeah, I have recently started being Jain vegan. Basically, I am very
Very good.
pure Jain since many years.
Yeah.
But since last 6 to 8 months, I am totally following Jain vegan diet.
Very good.
And I'm perfectly all right at present. But
Excellent.
people are making me scared that you will have calcium deficiency. And recent past, I got fracture. So people are just correlating that because of your Jain vegan diet, you are getting all this nonsense. So I just want to know two things from you. Okay, like if I'm following Jain vegan, now I do lot of Jain fasting and everything. So when I break my fast, I do eat something like a small piece of laddus and all that. So to bind that, I require some oil. So is oil advisable, or I should not eat oil at all?
Should not eat oil, no need for laddu. Yeah. And see, to your first question, calcium. We think milk has
Hmm.
calcium, right? Where did the
Hmm.
milk come from? Cow, right? So cow has enough calcium to become a strong 450 pounder, deliver a 60
Hmm.
pound baby, and give you gallons of milk on a daily basis with calcium. All of that calcium is
Hmm.
coming from where? It's coming from
Hmm.
plants. Look at this source. I kind of, this is in Hindi, whoever can understand.
Hmm. Hmm.
There are so many sources, green vegetables, all the seeds, they are so rich in calcium. 28 gram of calcium, you know,
Hmm.
if you just look at these things, curry,
Hmm.
curry patta has
Hmm.
830 milligram of calcium in 100 gram of curry patta. So if you do a curry patta chutney, you make a powder and take that 1 or 2 teaspoons a day, that's great. Soft, right? What we do,
Okay.
it's rich in calcium, 1200 milligrams. So these are like
Hmm.
10 times more than in milk. So just make sure you eat healthy, have variety of green leafy vegetables. With Jain vegan diet, be mindful, eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. Many times with Jain vegan diet, people forget to eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. That's a problem. And also
Yeah, but then
take your B12 supplement. It is in the app Daily Dozen.
B12 supplements should I take? You are suggesting?
Yeah, yeah.
But which brand, which which medicines exactly?
This is B12. Online, you Google it, find vegan B12, take it.
Okay. And one more thing, you are telling me that fruits and everything we should take, but then I do lots of IMBIL also. So in IMBIL, we can't eat all these vegetables. Only
That's
one
okay.
time we have to eat.
That's okay. On the other days, you can, whenever you can, make sure you eat them.
But then Vardhaman Tap only, it is a long, it keeps on going for many days. So that time,
Yeah, we cannot change that, right? But whenever you can, make sure you consume.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the oil we should completely give up oil and sugar, or we can have something, jaggery at least in place of sugar.
You're bargaining right now.
No, no, I just
It's
want to know because I'm totally ignorant about all these aspect.
I
I'm
do
very
not recommend.
spiritual, but
Not
so
needed, not needed.
so
I
I'm
do
ready
not
to give up
recommend.
totally sugar forever. But then
Good.
people are saying you will have low sugar and low BP and this and that, and people are just making me scared.
Show
So
them, show them those videos. Read. You should read the books. You should watch the videos. You should empower
mm,
yourself with knowledge. That's how. Bhai in Jainism, there are 7 types of bhai, and this bhai
mm,
comes from ignorance. So when you have
yeah.
knowledge, the ignorance disappears. That's why I gave you the resources. Buy those books, read those books, go on that website, watch the videos. So those who scare you, you can educate them actually.
No, but then no, but practically also it has happened with me that once I was doing long days IMBIL, and my sugar was reduced to such a level that I like I was hospitalized, and my hemoglobin also reduced, and also people say glucose, all those glucose was inserted in the hospital, and all those things had happened.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm
that
just
you,
asking
yeah,
that I'm
you have to
ready
work.
to give up sugar forever. Is it
work
okay?
Yeah, it's not needed. You have to work with your doctor to make sure your medications are adjusted and all that stuff. It's a very specific question, as I said. You have to work with your primary care doctor, and they will be able to
Mm.
help you with that.
Mm. So if someone does lifelong IMBIL, it is okay? No vegetable, no fruits, no sugar, all the Vigai Tyag.
So many Sadhu Maharaj do it, right?
Yeah, I know.
Just make sure you follow all the aspects, all the other 5 aspects.
Mm. Okay. And we have just started one Jain vegan WhatsApp group from, I don't know, I never knew about your group and all these activities. First time someone had said in our group. So
Good.
I would like to have all the updates. It's really, and why did I become Jain vegan? Solely because of the compassion for animals.
Very good.
The,
Yes.
the way I never knew. I used to use so many dairy products, but
Wow.
since the 6 to 8 months, I have totally given up solely because of the compassion for these animals. So
Congratulations.
whatever we can do,
Phenomenal.
we also do, and it's a really need of the hour. So
Absolutely.
I would love regularly you keep giving such talks, you
Okay.
inspire people, and you join. I really invite everyone to join this WhatsApp group, and you spread the awareness. Please, this is the need of the hour.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And, Parthiban, I just want to say thank you for sharing so vulnerably about what you're experiencing and letting us learn from you as well. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, thank you. And Dee, you have your hand raised and waiting patiently. Just wait for them to unmute. Dee Irk. There you go.
Hello, thank you for giving me a chance to speak. So my husband has early stage of Parkinson's. He is following, he's fasting at the moment, but what is a plant-based solution he could take?
So actually, more and more data is coming that Parkinson starts in your gut. So
Okay.
if you go on that website, nutritionfacts.org, it is by Dr. Michael Greger. Actually, he got into all of this because his grandmother, I think, had Parkinson's disease. So definitely go and look at that website. This is phenomenal diet. Work with your doctor when you start this journey. It will help truly. Fava beans, I think, were the closest, most helpful. But remember, it's not just the one diet. You have to have multiple different varieties, 7 different colors, 30 different plants per week. That's phenomenal.
Thanks for the question. And I know we're nearing the end of our time. Do you have a few more minutes,
Sure,
Dr.
sure. I
Mutha?
can
Yeah,
stay a few
okay.
minutes.
So I'd like to take, we have 3 hands raised. So Praveen, Chintan, and then Gina. And then we will sadly have to close the call. So Mr. Praveen, if you don't mind unmuting yourself and asking your question.
Hi, good morning, Jai Jinendra, Dr. Mutha.
Oh, good morning, Praveen bhai.
It
As you
was nice to see you again, but it was a very informative thing. This is basically your specialty. I have adhesions and everything, and due to that, this small obstructions happens, and at least once or twice I have to go to hospital for that to unblock or to see that. And doctors suggest that I should not eat
Fiber.
fibrous
Yeah.
things, including chia seeds or nuts or any kind of thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
where do I get my fibers and other stuff?
It's a big challenge, Praveen bhai. I'm so sorry you're going through this. I have a few patients that way. That's why I always say, I mean, we are learning from your experience that we always wait for something to happen to change. Don't, life does not always give us a second chance. So don't wait that if something will happen, I'll change. I'm doing fine. I'm eating all the bad stuff. I'm doing fine. Why do I need to change? A lot of people argue this way. Don't do that. Now is the time to change. Now, for you per se, it's going to be a challenge because with additions and obstructions and strictures, fiber is the more bulking agent, and more fiber you have, that really helps. But that also comes with a challenge that if there is narrowing and additions, you can end up with small wall obstruction. That's a battle, a very tough battle, uphill battle. And I think what you're doing is phenomenal. And I wouldn't mean, whatever you can do working with your doctor, I'll stick to that because you're already Jain, you're already vegan, you're doing phenomenal work. I think there is no other advice for you at this point, unfortunately. We can talk offline later on as well.
Sure.
It's a tough situation. I'm so sorry you're going through this.
Okay, thank you, doctor.
Loves chia seeds.
I know, but chia seed can't eat anymore.
Don't take chia seeds.
Anyway, my all the recipes is chia seeds and so many old stuff.
Oh, we ate your recipes when we were in California. You're
Yeah, I
phenomenal.
know.
He's
Thank you.
crazy about his veganism, trying
Should
to send the
I'm
whole
wonder
center to become vegan.
should be right, and I wonder why people aren't. Why Jain people aren't? Jain people should be at the foremost of this veganism. Should be giving up dairy because there is so much violence. So Praveen bhai, you are definitely an ideal. We want to follow you, and we want to make sure that that's implemented. And of course, the committee members are doing such phenomenal job spreading the word.
Right, right. Thank you, doctor.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Let's go to Chintan. If we can get Chintan to unmute. Let's see. Okay, while we're waiting for Chintan, let's get Gina. Gina, if you don't mind unmuting.
I think it works. So I wanted to say to Dr. Mutha, a really informative, wonderful talk from someone else who's very supportive, and also a physician. For some of the other questions, I want to just offer a few resources, and then I have a question for myself and for others that may have this question. So what I wanted to offer is we have a variety of talks on the website veganjains.com from both the ethical and health perspective. And some of them address some of the questions that have come up in some depth. But I agree with Dr. Mutha that nutritionfacts.org is also a great resource. There's another website called veganhealth.org that also addresses some of the nutrition questions from a RD, registered dietitian, who's also a bodybuilder. So he has a number of resources there as well. I did work at True North, the center that Dr. Mutha talked about when I lived in California, and entirely agree that there are people that are non-Jain that are doing water-based fasting and achieving really remarkable results with lowering blood pressure, reversing heart disease, and even some other diseases. So I would say how they recommend recovering from a fast is consistent with what Dr. Mutha says and our Jain practice. Things like mung pani, they talk about broth. Well, we have our own broth from our own tradition. They also recommend things like melons. Those are fruits that are easy to digest, and like very simple steamed vegetables. So if you look at truenorth.org, you can see some of their information. I don't think they have lots of details about the diet. I'm sharing from my experience there. There's also the Rochester Institute of Lifestyle Medicine, and they have a Kickstart program. And so you can join that. I'm actually going to talk to Dr. Mutha and our committee and see if we might want to coordinate something specifically for our community. So let's talk about that and see if we want to try to have that resource available, because they already have lectures and resources and things like that. So that could be a really great resource for us. And they actually have a study protocol. So potentially we could even see how people do before and after. And then my question is something that's a great source of controversy between me and family members. I believe Dr. Greger recommends mushrooms, which is not a traditional part of our Jain diet. And I've asked around, and it does not seem like there's a very satisfactory answer. Many of us, like myself, don't particularly like the taste of mushrooms. We haven't grown up on it. Some of us have grown to like it. What is your opinion on the health benefits of mushrooms and the Jain reasons for avoiding consumption?
You're putting me on the spot, aren't you?
I
So,
am sorry.
so two things, right? If we are consuming medicines, majority of the medicines are violent. We consume them without thinking for a second. So if you're taking mushroom and comparing it with medicine, if you're able to get rid of medicine, take a mushroom, in that sense, I'm okay. I think that's absolutely, if you think about it, we are okay to consume Panchendriya Himsa, violent, five sense being violent thing, without blinking our eye. The Tylenol that you take in the grocery store or in India, paracetamol or whatever, all of these things, if you go back and look at the ingredients, majority of them have some kind of non-veg ingredient in them. So we are okay consuming that, and then we start questioning these. Oh, you cannot eat green leafy vegetables. You cannot have fruits on. So we have to keep these things in perspective. If you're doing $1 million loss versus $100 loss, I would always cut out the $1 million loss and go for $100 loss. Eventually, I'll work on that as well. But first off, figure out where you stand, what you're doing, and then take the next step. For mushrooms too, there are alternatives that you can definitely find. So it's at what level you are, what stage you are, what's your goal, all of that matters. So I gave you a little vague answer.
It's
I
hard,
hope
I
that
know.
answered some of the points.
And because you mentioned greens, I'll just offer that the kind question about bone density and getting enough calcium and how she should break her fast. Dr. Witta talked previously about green smoothies. If you add kale, if you're in the US or Western country and you have kale, there may be other greens in India, that are similar, but if you add a very calcium rich green
All
and
of these
nuts like
things.
that, all of
Yeah,
these things, if you add these things to your
spring.
smoothie and drink that, that can be that could be great for providing enough calcium and a great good way to come out of a fast where you're not having to break it down in your gut when you're still trying to have something that's easy to digest.
One of the interesting thing is gladiators used to do this post-workout plant ash-based tonic that made their bones really strong. So there are lots of ways to do it to make it strong, but dairy is not one of them.
Thanks for that, Gina. And I think someone was asking about, I think maybe the link to True North as well, if you don't mind putting that in the chat, if you have it, Okay, I know we've gone really over time. I just want to check in with, I think, Chintan. You were saying you could not unmute, so I wanted to see if Chintan is still here. I see they lowered their hand.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Perfect. Sorry about that. Again, I'll make it very quick because I know we're running out of time. Again, thank you for the very inspirational talk. It's been very informative, and I've definitely taken lessons from me because I'm not vegan at the moment. I'm Jain, so follow Jain diet. So definitely something that I do follow once a week vegan diet, but I want to do that more consistently. But my focus, I think we talked a lot about us, what we need to improve on. I do have three kids, well, like 5-year-old twins, and also the older one is 10-year-old. Wanted if you can spend a few minutes on obviously some of those things can be applied for the kids, but wanted to say like, what other things you should be doing with kids. I think starting early is definitely important. But is there anything more than what we discussed for adults that we should be thinking for the kids?
So remember this part. Once we stop drinking milk from our own mother, we don't need to go and drink milk from mother of another species. We are not designed that way. Otherwise, we would have been continuing to do breastfeeding until we are adult. So kids do not need dairy products. Or the daily dozen is phenomenal for kids too, actually for all age groups. You just have to come up with recipes that they love. And you have to make it a celebration, attach positive memories to those experiences. So when you're experiencing green smoothie, you have to make it a fun experience because emotions is what they remember. If it's a bad emotion, bad energy around the healthy food, then it's always a challenge for them to consume that. But if you make it fun, let's say you have brown rice pastas for that. I'm just making it up. And you put ton of different veggies and put cashew cream, grind some cashew, put it in there and put some chia seeds or put some flax seeds in there. So you get a lot of factors of your daily dozen in there. It's very tasty. They love it. I mean, my son loves it. He's vegan by choice since many years now. He's 14 now, and he loves that. All the time he wants pasta and noodles and that kind of stuff. But we bring it whole. You can find it in Trader Joe, Whole Foods, wherever, where you can find single ingredient whole food, any of these things, and you can make it. Make sure they get used to smoothies, but stick to the daily dozen regardless of age group, and you're going to be fine. Just come up with different recipes, and with YouTube and Chat GPT, you can create phenomenal recipes to help you on this journey. Make sure you give them B12 supplement, take them out in the park, playing in the park, being out in the nature definitely replenishes their microbiome, which can also automatically produce B12. Getting them sunlight. Sunlight is a healing factor, not just vitamin D. It has infrared, it has multiple other benefits. Make sure they're out there. So fresh water, sunlight, being out with nature, daily dozen, and you're golden.
Thanks so much for Chintan for sharing that and also for sharing where you are in your vegan journey. So appreciate that you shared that with us.
Good luck,
okay, yeah. And okay, last question. Okay, for real this time, seriously, last question. And then we will let you get on with your day. So Nana, Ben, do you want to unmute your line and ask your question, and you will
Yes, thank you.
help us conclude.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mutha, for sharing your knowledge. It's very important to understand what we eat, what we are putting in our body. Two things. You mentioned jaggery. So there is a natural jaggery. Is that not good because it contains only pure sugar cane?
Have you seen jaggery grow on plant?
No.
That's the answer. If it does
Okay.
not grow on a plant, it has to be processed to come to your table. I kind of answered that briefly earlier, and today's
Right.
jaggery has a ton of chemicals added to it. So that's another problem. Plus, it gives you sugar spike, insulin spike, inflammation, all of that stuff.
And second thing, B12, we don't get that much. We are non-vegetarian. So they say that B12 tablets doesn't work as much as the injections.
So let me tell you this. This is a myth that non-vegetarians can have B12 and we don't. I see patients every day who are non-vegetarians who are B12 deficient. B12 is not produced by animals, it's produced by bacteria. That's one thing people do not know. B12 is produced by bacteria. They give B12 supplements to animals, and that's why you think the animal products have B12. So animals are being given supplements. You can take B12. If you're deficient in B12, it's a different story. If you're already deficient and with oral you're not able to get to the level, get your doctor to give you shots to get to the level, and then you can take your supplements. There is other factors to it. I'm going a little more detailed. You can have something called as autoimmune gastritis from poor diet, and that's why you will not be able to absorb B12 when you take it orally. That can happen. That's a GI issue. When you come in, we can see that during endoscopy and all that stuff. But the point is, B12 is not produced by animals. It's a myth that only vegetarians are deficient. Everybody is deficient in B12 because we are so germophobic. We are killing all the germs left and right all the time. And these germs are the ones, healthy bacteria, are the ones who produce B12. And because they are not around anymore, we don't go out in the park, we don't go out in the nature, we don't walk on the soil. And that's why we don't have those bacteria in us. And we don't have those bacteria. That's why we become B12 deficient.
So yes, I am very low in B12. So
follow your doctor's cue. Once your levels are normal, then you can just take the supplement once a week.
But the insulin injections, do they come like in a wedge form, or what does it contain?
Oh, B12 injection, you mean?
Yeah.
That you'll have to check with your pharmacist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
For sure.
Okay, so I wanted to say thank you, Dr. Mutha, and also to our entire committee for all of the support and all of the information that you have shared with us. I found it incredible. There's so many things that I'm inspired by, I'd like to take away and move forward. I think clearly there was, over 100 of us here on the call today. So thank you so much for all your time, all your extra time. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, but
One
we will
second.
see you.
It's been a
Yeah, go
pleasure.
ahead.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
There was one question, I think, about MCT oil or
Yes. Yes,
yes.
I do. Yep.
So yeah, you don't need any of these oils. Just eat whole foods daily. Doesn't That's the answer for essentially every question you asked as at its simplest form. Take your chia seeds, take your flax seeds, take your walnuts, take your avocado, and you can have whole coconut, and you will get all the ingredients you need. But thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you all, and thank you for taking time out, be it India or US, on a Sunday when FIFA final is going on. Um, uh, Hopefully, we all learn something together, and hopefully, we can go on to make some changes in our life to help us live disease-free and medicine-free life going forward.
Absolutely.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to just add in a couple of things, Kyle.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So on behalf of the committee, we want to thank you, Dr. Mutha, for giving us a really informative talk. I personally learned a lot of things. I think if we can create the right recipe, lifestyle recipe, we can solve a lot of problems. And all of this information has been very insightful. I think we have a lot of questions that we couldn't get to, so we apologize for that. I do want to bring up a couple of things. I think, Chintan, you brought up the question about kids. We do have this intention to take that on as a topic in a future Chai and Chat talk to bring in a vegan pediatrician and have a discussion around raising kids on a plant-based vegan diet. So I wanted to share that with you. And all of these resources that we've shared, some of the websites and information, we're going to try to incorporate as much of that as possible in a follow-up email, as well as on our resources page on our website. So just look out for some updates on those things, as well as a recording of this talk. I think many of you asked for a recording, so we will have this recording. We have our previous Giant Chat talks, but the last two talks. Again, Dr. Mutha highlighted Sujal Sanchetti, who's a wellness and fitness coach who talked a lot about the importance of fiber. So make sure you go to our website to take a look at that. And then our initial talk with Dr. Tushar Mehta, also similar topic of Jain and being plant-based and the importance of how benefits of a vegan diet as well. I want to thank again Dr. Mutha. I also want to thank the committee members that are on this call. We have a number of people, on the call. Dr. Jaina Shah and Praveen who actually asked some questions. They're on the committee, and we have a number of other people. So I do want to say thank you for bringing this talk to everybody. And I'll leave it there. So, Payal, you can close the meeting, but thank you everyone for attending.